Strong looks different for each of us, and it's time to put focus on our unique journeys that get us there. This space created weekly is for athletes to improve their mindset in order to better navigate challenges that come up in sport and in different seasons of life. On this show, we ask the questions that lead to better answers and have the conversations that truly matter. This is the Becoming Your Strong podcast. Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the Becoming Your Strong podcast. You just get me today. No surprise visitors or guests, but I am excited for today's episode because we get to talk about stuff that I really like, and I'm pretty good at. So we'll get to that soon. But for this week's episode, I wanted to change it up a little bit. Normally I do a Becoming Your Strong moment of the week. And instead, I want to swap that a little bit and talk about two really important reminders just in life, just to bring in some of that mental, emotional aspect of the podcast that I absolutely love and I know a ton of you guys appreciate. So I just want to drop some little nuggets here for those of you that may need it, those of you that need it that didn't know that you needed it. The first thing, two important points. First thing is to remember that what you are going through right now is going to give you the ability to help someone in the future. And I share that because I'm going to call it the wonderful gift and opportunity. It is an unfortunate situation, but I have the wonderful opportunity right now to pay forward everything that I learned in the last 6 to 8 months of going through just like my transition of a breakup into moving back in on my own and being in a place that I wasn't 100% familiar with and a job that was newer to me. Like there was a lot of things that happened 6 to 8 months ago and it was hard. It was terrifying. Some moments I hated it. Other moments I felt really empowered. All of that to say, you can go back and listen to those episodes if you'd like to. Just scroll your way on back and you'll probably see which ones I'm talking about. But now I get this amazing opportunity to support someone as they walk through a very similar path. And for those of you that are going through some hardship right now, if you struggle to do it for you, like if you struggle to really bite down, grit it out, and take one step forward every single day for you, think about the future person in your life, a loved one, that you are going to be able to help because you chose to take steps forward. It is a very gratifying feeling. If you can't do it for you, do it for someone else. And I'm hoping that that'll get you through what it is that you're going through and find some peace in the situation, find some joy in the situation, realizing that this is so much bigger than yourself and that you have the opportunity to create true lasting impact in the future. So I wanted to share that because I'm currently going through that right now. And it's, like I said, it's not like I'm excited to be supporting someone through that, but it feels really good knowing that I have the tools in my tool belt to truly, truly help someone else. The other important point that I wanted to mention is what you put out in the world is what you receive. It's so simple, you guys. Law of attraction. What you put out is what you receive. If you are putting out anything but the things that you want to receive, don't be surprised when they come knocking at your door in ways that you're throwing up your hands in the air wondering, why me? If you really, really want to see things change in your life, something has to change within you. You have to start thinking very intentionally about who you show up as in the world every single day and the energy and effort that you put out. If you do things out of joy, do not be surprised when joy comes and greets you in the best ways possible, in ways that you couldn't even imagine. And again, the same goes for the opposite. So just two things that I think play on each other very, very well. Again, if you're going through hardships, if you're going through a moment, which it's life, it's inevitable, it's going to happen. I just want to share those two things and hope that they pull you through and they get you to maybe shift a little bit, shift the perspective so that you show up the best version of you day in and day out. All right, those are my two fun, important notes. Let's get on with it. So this weekend, I am hosting a DEKA Strong at Pursuit. And I am so excited because this is like one of my favorite events ever to host because I love the strong. It's where I basically grew up in my DEKA career, as I've always been a strong athlete. And since then have tacked on the other three disciplines, or the other, I guess you could say three with Atlas, but the other disciplines as well. And so for the folks that are competing this weekend, I wanted to do a special episode for you, especially because I'm looking at this list and there are a ton of people that are newcomers. Now, I don't know if they're newcomers to pursuit and or newcomers to the sport. If so, freaking welcome. And this is also for anyone else across the freaking world that's competing in a DEKA Strong this weekend. I just wanted to walk through some really important things that I think some people may not know or just forget that could vastly help them not only improve and enjoy their experience more, but just also help them do their absolute best. So a couple of points that I wanted to go through here. If you have, like I will say, if I don't cover something that you're hoping that I provide tips on, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer your questions. Instagram is probably one of the best ways to reach out to me. But whatever that is, I'd love to help you in any way, shape, or form. So let's first talk about the week of the strong. We're living in it right now. You're competing this weekend and you're wondering, what should I be doing the week of? And you're probably not surprised to hear the answer close to nothing. And when I say close to nothing, I don't mean like just sit there on the couch and do absolutely nothing. What I'm talking about is that we should walk into this week not with the perspective that we can move the needle any closer to the outcome that we want. The needle moving has already happened as much as it's possibly going to. What we need to focus on is how can I stay loose? How can I stay sharp? And how can I prioritize my recovery? And if I can do those things, I'm going to feel really, really good this weekend and not feel like, oh, I'm a little sore, I'm a little tired or a little bogged down. If I had to take a wild guess, most of you probably put in pretty decent training block for this. If you didn't, if you're like, I'm just showing up and seeing what happens, like just hats off to you, my friend, because that's what this is all about. But I'm assuming most of you listening to this, you want to do well and you probably put in a good training block to this. You got to give yourself a second to come down from it, absorb those adaptations, let the body recharge and actually perform when it matters. Way too often do I see people try and like sneak in those last little bit of threshold sessions and thinking that, well, in the 2 days, whatever before, like if I do this really well, then all of a sudden like it's going to maximize my performance. Not necessarily. And 9 times out of 10, I'd say it's the opposite. So the goal is to stay sharp. You can touch a little bit of intensity, but we shouldn't be doing much outside of breaking a small sweat. Okay. You should feel confident. You should feel sharp. You should feel better than when you started the session. If you go into it and after you're like, oh, I just crushed myself, probably did a little bit too much. I get questions often about lifting. Should I lift? I think that it's fine to lift, again, as long as you are very intentional about how it is that you were lifting and when during the week you were doing it. Honestly, anything lifting based, anything intensity based should be done, especially if you're competing on a Saturday, should be done at least by Wednesday, right? Monday, Tuesday, and then I would say Wednesday, even like really start to taper it down a little bit. If you want to know what I do, Monday, I'll touch a little bit of intensity on the ergs. So just feeling that race pace, maybe I'll throw in some of the actual specific DEKA movements, again, to stay sharp, to stay nimble. Tuesday, I will do either some sort of like mobility that is mostly body weight, or I will do like a lift that's deloaded from what I would normally do, maybe a couple of heavy lifts, some quick little muscular endurance things. Again, just something to keep my body sharp and springy, maybe some plyometrics, like nothing super crazy. Because the last thing, again, that I want to do is tax it so much to the point where like I'm feeling it throughout the week. Wednesday, I'll do a simple base day, anywhere from 30, 45 minutes at most. Again, just to continue to keep the body active, but nothing crazy. Thursday, I'll take a rest day. Friday, I'll prime the system. Again, I'll jump on the ergs, do a little bit of station work, Nothing really more than 20 to 30 minutes. For those of you, I guess we're talking about the strong, but if you by chance are listening to this and you're doing a mile, maybe you go out for an easy run. Seriously, nothing crazy. There is nothing that you can do between now and then to move your fitness forward. The only thing you can do is damage your chances. So don't chance it. It's just silly of you. Silly. Okay. Now let's talk about nutrition and the days leading up, as well as like the morning, the day of. So when it comes to the strong, realistically, most people, depending on what discipline, or I guess what race they're doing, if they're doing an individual, if they're doing a teams, if this is their 17th billionth time doing it, if it's their first time doing it, really kind of depends on the person when it comes to fueling. But for the most part, what I can confidently say is you don't need to do this massive carb load. And what I'm talking about is like, for those of you that are true like endurance athletes and you're carb loading 3, sometimes even 4 days before your event, not really necessary in this case, because most people are going to fall around anywhere from that 15 minutes to 30 minutes at most line. Some people a little bit more, but I digress. So with that being said, truly the day before is probably the day just to up your carbs by a little bit, add an extra serving of things, make sure that you're getting really good hydration in, right? Hydrating, I think, is what most people miss out on. I'm not saying you need to chug 1.5 million elements unless you know that you are a very heavy, salty sweater and you need to maybe sodium load a little bit beforehand. Really, just extra serving of carbs, good hydration throughout the day, and that's pretty dang good. If you expect to be out there for longer than 30 minutes, then you might consider doing something even like 2 days before, because you're probably going to burn through a lot of those glycogen storages fairly quickly. But really, I'd say the more of the important is going to be the morning of. And I know so many of us, I should say, we're nervous. We struggle to eat in the morning. It's really hard to get in some solid nutrition. I totally understand that. I always go straight to, I'm actually able to do this well because I've done this now. It's not my first rodeo. I go to bagels. Bagels are simple for me and I'm able to stomach those really well. In the moments, because I have shown up, you guys have probably heard my stories about world championships. There's always one day where I show up feeling like complete butt and I can't stomach anything. So I have to go to plan B, and that's not a bagel. G1M Sport. It's a carb and electrolyte based powder from Bare Performance Nutrition. It is like my golden standard. I will sip it while I'm in the warm-up area for sure. Like an hour before I'm sipping on it, you can put in 1 scoop. I believe 1 scoop has anywhere between 20 to 30 grams of carbs. Or you can double it up and get 2 scoops for a full 60. I'm pretty sure most people, especially if you didn't eat anything else, most people should probably be doing at least 2 scoops, anywhere from 45 to 65, even upwards of 70 grams of carbs before this happens, or before your race happens. And that, again, doesn't have to be in carbohydrate powder form. It could be in, like a solid food form, like a bagel. So usually 2 hours before, that's when I'm going to get in that bagel. About the hour before, that's when I start sipping on my G1M. If I feel like I need a little top off because in my warm up, and we'll talk about that here in a second, I get the system firing and I do break a sweat. I've just burned through some of those glycogen storages. I will top it off with either a honey stinger gel or a couple of like gummies, like something that's going to give me some instant sugar. So before I go, like I would say anywhere 15 to 20 minutes before I go, I do my top off and then boom, I'm out there on the course and I'm ready to rumble. That is my nutrition strategy. And again, you always want to prioritize carbohydrates. Protein, you're not going to really utilize it for this race. So not saying that you shouldn't have any of it, but it's not going to help you. If you're only able to stomach something, please don't make it like a yogurt. Please make it something that is carbohydrate heavy. Fats, stay away from them. Don't douse with peanut butter. Don't do the avocado toast. Maybe lights a little bit of butter. Like, we want to keep the fat levels low because we're not going to be in a lower heart rate zone where our body is utilizing fats. We're going to be in a higher heart rate zone where our body needs carbs, and fats are just going to cause some problems. It's just Trust me on that. Okay. So that's the nutrition as far as the strong goes. Again, if you're going to do like a mile or a fit or the DEKA Ultra, that's a completely different sort of strategy when it comes to fueling. I'm just talking about the strong. Let's talk about the warm up now, because for anyone that knows me, all of my athletes that I train know that like it drives me absolutely insane when I see athletes just sitting there and they're like, okay, I'm going to like touch my toes and like twist side to side. And that's their warm up. I'm like, no, you are literally going to start the lunges and get on the row and you're going to shock your body. It's going to go into complete lactate mode. You're going to have heart rate through the roof and you're going to fall over the box. And I don't mean to jinx you, but that's what's going to happen without a proper warm up. So what do I do as an elite athlete in this space? Well, I personally, I deal with exercise-induced asthma. I have a cute little inhaler. It's also part of the reason why I wear my nose strips, is because it helps me get more air and oxygen to the system. But I know that it takes a second for my engine to start to rev. And so in order for me to feel good and to not hit those higher heart rate zones in a place where I feel it in my chest and I feel it really deeply in my lungs, I need to be doing a warm up of anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes of just, again, low zone 1, zone 2, just to get the system firing. And I'd recommend that for most people. Now, maybe it doesn't need to be 15 to 20 minutes like me. I would say 10 to 15 minutes is the sweet spot for most people. Again, this could be a very easy run. This could be sitting on a bike. This could be circulating through the machines, a little bit of row, a little bit of ski, a little bit of bike. It just needs to be something. Okay. The aerobic piece, honestly, I feel like is one of the more important parts, because as much as it is called the strong and we think that this is a strength test, guys, this is a sneaky as shit aerobic. I shouldn't even say aerobic, anaerobic test. Okay. So you need to have your system firing. I usually will do like my mobility, so any of like my stretches or whatnot, just before that, all very dynamic, nothing static. I'll do about 5-ish minutes of that, hop on the machine, do my 15 to 20 minutes there, and then I'll hop off. And at that point, now I'm going to start to activate the muscle groups. So quads are a big one. Glutes is a big one. Hamstrings, basically your legs, because DEKA is just one massive leg day. But don't forget about your pushing strength, your pulling strength. I love bringing a super band with me everywhere I go, because you also have to think about the fact that you have no idea at some of these affiliate gyms what the warm-up area is going to look like. So if you're expecting it to be like dumbbells and band galore and all of the machines and the equipment, I hate to break it to you, not every gym is graced with a lot of that extra equipment to utilize out there for their warm-up area. So you need to come prepared with something that you know that you can trust, that you can warm up with. So I always have my super band with me, doing some pulling movements, again, doing some push-up movements, like hand release push-ups are great, doing some overhead to get the shoulders going, doing some core movements. I personally love doing a lot of isometric movements for the lower body. So like isometric hold lunges, wall sits, things of that sort, really, even like glute bridge type stuff. All of that is a very quick and effective way, like 30-second holds. It gets your muscles going. It recruits those muscle fibers pretty quickly. So it's a quick, efficient way to get the job done. I won't do more than a round or two of that. Again, I just want to get things woken up. And then I will go and touch the different stations. Again, get it in my body, couple reps of everything. And then I want to get my heart rate down probably about 10 minutes before. Get that, again, last little bit of hydration. If you feel like you need to pop those gummies to replenish, great, amazing. But that 10 minutes before, like, put on your nose strip, go to the bathroom 18 more times. Like, make sure that you plan your warm out ahead of time of like, I want to dedicate 30 or 45 minutes. Get there early enough to be able to give yourself that, and then give yourself, again, probably closer to 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to get those last little things in place before you go out there. So that way you're not like freaking out coming right off the bike and being like, okay, let's do some lunges. Okay, so that is the warm-up piece. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. Let's talk about the race strategy. Now, I love y'all. I'm not going to give you all of the goods, but I'm going to give you some of the goods. If you want all of the goods and some really good coaching, that's where you're going to reach out to me. We're going to get on the phone and we're going to do like a race strategy call or a consultation, and we're going to get you personalized to what it is that you need to do every time you attack that course, especially if you guys are looking to qualify for 2026 World Championships. If you are trying to do it alone, if you are trying to do it without any guidance, and especially if this is like something you're newer to, it'll change your life. It'll change the game if you just ask for some help. So I'm happy to be that person for you. You again, reach out to me on Instagram, via email, does not matter. Okay, slight plug there. Now let's move back into the race strategy piece. So those of you that are tenured, you have probably heard me talk about some of these things, so this might not be new information. For those of you that are not very tenured in this is going to be something you need to like listen to. This is textbook here, okay? When you get out there and you start those lunges and you get on the row, honestly, out of all of the different machines, I think the row is probably where people feel the most familiar. Because if they've trained for this, they've probably trained in some sort of affiliate gym or a gym that has a row erg, and they have been like, oh, well, I know I can go this fast on it. I can go fast on the row erg, but am I going to rip my fastest 500 meter row erg in a race when I still have 8 other stations to follow it? Probably not. Yet it never ceased to fail that I see someone trying to row low 140s or even lower than that in the 500 meters section of this, and they get off and they have no breath, they have no legs, they're wobbling. The box is terrifying to watch. Like they've literally shot themselves in the foot before the race has actually begun. So what I'm going to say is 2 things. The front half of the race is your buy-in, aka you need to pace the crap out of it. The second thing is that the ergs can either be your best friends or they are going to be the reason why you fail. And I shouldn't say fail, that's a little bit harsh, but it's going to be the reason why you either find yourself on the back half thriving or dying, one of the two. Even though I'd say we're all kind of dying, but some of us are dying a little bit more than others. I want you to be the person that's not dying. So listen up to this, okay? The front half truly is your buy-in. People all the time are like, Kayla, you look like you were sleeping. Like you're not even breathing heavy. I will get to the farmer's carry and I'm still nasal breathing and moving fast at the same time. Granted, I've trained a handful of years to be able to do that. I also am very methodical when it comes to my race strategy and my paces. If you are not able to breathe smoothly and feel like you're at an effort level that's very moderate, you're going too hard. I get it. Adrenaline swoops you up in the moment. But if you need to, have the friend that's out there, or even have your coach, your judge, say, chill out. Whatever it is that you need to hear, tell them that ahead of time. Tell them when you need to hear it. If you know that you're a sneaky, fast rower person, tell them on the row, hey, this is what I'm shooting for. If I go anything faster than that, just remind me of the goal here, whatever that is, okay? And that sort of brings me to the secondary thing, which is you should know what your paces are on the ergs, okay? This is, again, not an all-out sprint for 500 meters on the erg. This is a pace that you're like, okay, maybe I'm not totally nasal breathing. Maybe I'm starting to, involve my mouth a little bit, but I feel like comfortable. I'm starting to feel a little bit of discomfort, but I'm not feeling so uncomfortable to where I'm nervous about what's going to happen when I step off of these 2 machines, okay? You want to think of the rower and the skier, like I said, of your buy-in, and you want to think of them as almost conversational pace, okay? Maybe a little bit above that, just because, again, we are racing, but especially for those of you that are newer to this, it should be chill the F out. You got to remove the ego from the pace. Don't even look at it. Close your dang eyes and let the judge tell you when you've hit 500 meters, okay? Remove the ego from your pace and realize, okay, this is just the buy-in. This is just the warm-up. Once I get past the ski erg, then I've got a dial. I can turn it a little bit to the right. I get past the farmer's carry. I'm on the bike. I can turn it up a little bit more. I'm off the bike. Bring it on. It is all guns, all ships forward, folks. You are gunning it to the end because at that point you only have 3 stations and that's where the moves can be made, right? And if you pace it correctly, you've got the energy in the tank to make those moves. So that is what I will say on that. If you don't know what your paces should be, like I have my athletes do certain time trials to figure out what those paces are. If you don't know what those are and what you're looking for, go into the gym this week and think, okay, this is what feels comfortable. Don't do it from like I was just fully rested state. Maybe do it as a little finisher to your workout, like a very moderate finisher to your workout. Do some rowing, do some skiing. Like, put yourself in that situation of like, okay, could I do this pace and not blow up? And if I can't say yes to that question, probably going a little bit fast. Okay. But in the moment, big breaths, make sure you're taking your freaking recovery. And when I say recovery, I'm talking about when you're sitting on the row erg and when you're doing the ski erg, that you're not bouncing back and forth like a ping pong ball or up and down like a bowl. You are quick pull, 2 to 3 second recovery. Quick pull, 2 to 3 second recovery. Give yourself a chance to actually breathe. I promise it is going to change your life. Okay. All right. Last but not least, I just want to give you a reminder to never stop moving. Always keep moving. It kills me when people get off the bike and they're hunched over and they've got their hands on their knees and they're like, I can't go anymore. And they're contemplating their life choices. The moment that you stop is the moment you let your mind win. And when you let your mind win, that voice in your head that's telling you this sucks. I don't like this. We need to go back to safety. The safety mechanism is going to kick in. I promise. The moment that you stop is the moment you let that thing win. Keep moving. I always say to my girls, don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. Literally, I will have them practice the transition of going hard on the bike and then getting off and doing the ball. I don't care how ugly or slow that first rep is. Don't think, just do. Toss that thing over your shoulder and find a way to just keep moving. If you find a way to just keep moving, things are going to get done quicker. So that's a great reward. The other point of this is at some point, your heart rate is going to start to drop a little bit. Okay. Keep moving. Don't let the bad voices in your head win, and you'll find that it's over sooner than later. Okay. But outside of that, you guys, I think that's all I have. Thank you so much for showing up for you today. Thank you for letting me have such a fun episode. I'm prepping you guys. Hey, last reminder of the episode. There's been a million, but last reminder, have some fun. Before you start, remember what a gift it is that you get to show up at a starting line like this, that you get to move your body in this way. Not everyone gets the chance to do this. We are not always destined another day. We're not always destined another opportunity. So take it with some joy. Take it with some freaking smiles. And I'm rooting for you guys. I'm excited to hear about how y'all do. But have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Becoming Your Strong. See you then.